Welcome back to the Complete Husband's Handbook podcast. My name is Daniel, and today we're going to be looking at the first male archetype from the book King, Warrior, Magician, and Lover. The first aspect, of course, is the lover. When most people hear that, they kind of get a little promiscuous, and they think it's that passionate love making that Hollywood loves to sell people. In reality, that's not the aspect. The aspect is one that we see in children and teenagers. Their their emotions are really high. I had a godson who loved mac and cheese and chicken nuggets. Everywhere we went to eat, didn't matter. That's what he had. He wouldn't try anything else. That was his world. He was also into the Lego video games, and anytime I would watch him on the overnight, he would play those games like it was a religion, and he loved them. But when they didn't go the way he wanted it to, he would throw the remote down and lose his mind and scream and cuss and holler, and it didn't end well. And that's the aspect of the lover. It's those heightened emotions. You love something. It's your world. We see that even in teenagers once they start to date. You know, you've seen people go, "Oh, I can't wait to see my girl tonight. You know, we're gonna be holding hands and kissing." And back when I was in high school, no one had a cell phone, so you had to pass notes and leave a little misuse on the lockers and things like that, and you would hear people say, "Oh, that's my world," or "I can't live without this person." Sadly, that's the bad part of the lover, is the heightened emotions that bring us to visceral and hate. That the lover only lives in the extremes. They either love something or hate something. They are either on top of the world or in the deepest pits of despair. There's no in between. It's always extreme. And where that fire burns really bright, really hot, it can't burn really long. And that's where we, as men, can channel those emotions, those heightened emotions of excitement, of passion, of youthful idealism, but they have to be tempered with experience. And not that I suggest that anyone goes through really rough patches, but it's the wisdom from this time period as children and as teenagers that lead us to what we are today. Some of my god kids, again, especially around the holidays, their eyes light up and they look at Christmas trees and cartoons and other Christmas specials, and they get all giddy and excited. Santa Claus is coming, woohoo! And they love it. But when they don't get what they want or what they think they want, it's one of those things that it can really destroy them because of the expectations that they put on themselves. It's really sad, and it's heartbreaking to watch, but it's one of those things that need to happen. That we need to transition past these very powerful and very heightened emotions. Again, going back to teenagers, you'll find them in protest and screaming and, down with the police and down with the government, and I hate this person or I hate that person. If you look at social media, a lot of the things that are targeted for teenagers invoke very powerful emotions. You see very sensual and suggestive dancing as part of the quote-unquote challenges. You see very extreme fits of pain endurance to quote-unquote prove you're a man. And sadly, that it's one of those things that these kids seem to thrive on, and they somewhat enjoy for some odd reason. But again, we as husbands need to explain to them that this isn't really a good thing. It doesn't help them in the long run. And if they delve and they live in these heightened emotional states, in the end, they're going to live alone. Because once you stop being that teenager and enter into being a young adult, or even into the working world, businesses don't thrive on heightened emotions. They can't. If you look at CEOs and businessmen, most of them are pretty calm, even keel. They don't really yell or scream and holler to the public. And it's one of those things where we have to deal with these emotions. We have to understand what makes them good and situations that put us in heightened emotional states. I, for one, have had to deal with my temper for years. And I'm a lot better now than I was 5-10 years ago. I don't get as angry. I don't get as frustrated. There are things that still irritate me. But I recognize that I don't have to get mad, especially if it has nothing to do with me. So I hope this has helped. I hope that we can look at the aspects in our lives that would be associated with the lover and tweak those a bit to where they're not as high, they're not as prevalent. But in moments where they're needed, we can amp them up just enough to that we can enjoy the moment without going above and beyond and crazy. We'll see y'all next episode. Y'all have a good one.